Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, we have here a brand new smartwatch from Amazfit called the Amazfit Balance. This is actually brand new, and the whole idea with the Balance name is because Amazfit wants to focus on balancing your body as well as your mind. So there's going to be a couple of few cool tricks that a watch is able to do to give you a better understanding of your health and all that. So without further ado, let's head over to the desk, get a bit up close and personal with the watch itself, and find out what this smartwatch is really all about. Let's go! Alright guys, so now that we are at the desk, let's take a closer look at the Amazfit Balance. Now we're going to start off with taking a look at the design itself. It looks very classy. Again, it doesn't look like any of the Amazfit smartwatches from before. We have two buttons. One at the top here is actually sort of a crown that you can use to, rotate and navigate through the menus. Nothing new here. And we also have another shortcut key at the bottom that I've currently programmed to actually enter into the list of activities. Naturally, if you use the app itself, you can reprogram this button to act as a shortcut key for any shortcut you want to set. Now moving on to the straps itself, we do have here this sort of like Velcro kind of straps going on. I think it is quite comfortable. The good thing here is that you can adjust it to any angle that you want. So if you have very skinny wrists like myself, this strap will actually fit your wrist just fine. Now moving on to the back, you might notice that there's a couple of new sensors going on at the back. The layout of the sensors and trackers are also slightly different compared to the previous Amazfit devices. Alright, so moving on to the front here, let's take a look at that display. Again, we have here a very beautiful AMOLED display. It refreshes quite quickly, so just to give you a very quick gliding over the widgets, just to give you an idea of how smooth it is. I know a lot of you guys are actually very concerned with whether there is any sort of like sluggishness in the UI itself, and so far everything has been really smooth, and I'm very happy to report that everything here is actually very nice to use, I would say. Alright, so moving on, let's check out what it can actually do. Now the name of the device, the Amazfit Balance, the whole idea why they are going with this balance, like I said earlier on, is all about showing how ready you are to face the day. You see that I have a score of 82 over here. If I just tap into that, it shows how ready I am for today. It basically calculates this sort of like score based on my previous night's sleep as well as my heart rate and all my body measurements throughout the entire day to come up with this particular score. It shows that I'm optimal and good for mental recovery. So I guess so far so good based on these statistics over here. Moving on, what else can it do? Well, naturally, just like all previous Amazfit smartwatches, it is actually able to track your activities. It's able to track your heart rate, your SpO2, everything that you have come to be very familiar with the Amazfit smartwatches. You actually get it here as well. You can see that I actually have my readings on throughout the entire day. The same goes for my heart rate, which I will show you over here as well. It went up a little bit because I was just running up the stairs earlier on, so that's that. And you also have that same one tap measuring that actually measures all the heart rate, blood oxygen, stress and all that with just a single tap. Now if you just move down the list itself, you might notice something new over here, and that is the body composition. You can actually see more information in the app itself, but it's good to know that the body composition is now available on the Amazfit smartwatch. You also have your stress, like I mentioned earlier on, so if you just go into the stress, you can see my stress levels throughout the day. Those that are without the stress levels, you might see that there is very tiny, and that's because I was asleep, obviously. No stress during sleep. And speaking about sleep, this is where again you can see the tracking of the sleep is actually pretty interesting here. I noticed that it actually calculated the amount of times I woke up in the night quite accurately. So last night it was 4 times, the previous night it was 7 times, and yeah, it does provide you a lot of information again that you can see directly from the watch itself without having the need to go into the app. Now you see that we have this phone item here, and that's because the watch itself supports Bluetooth calling. So again, just like before, we do have a speaker and a mic on board, so you don't have to use your phone to answer calls, and you also can quickly check your notifications, your messages directly on the watch itself. Now in terms of the activities down here, if you just click into that, you'll notice that we do have a long list of activities once again. Again, this is something that we have come to be very accustomed with all those kind of Amazfit smartwatches. There's more than 100 different activities that it tracks, and it also comes with brand new dual band GPS and route navigation. So there's a support for up to 6 different satellite systems, so that should make the GPS tracking a little bit better. So far, I've actually been running on the treadmill, so I don't have much to report in terms of the GPS tracking, but just a quick look at the app itself. Again, you can see that we have all the information over here, my SpO2s, my sleep, my stress, all my stuff are actually in here. Of course, I also do have a workout plan actually set in the app itself, and it will actually give you prompts, you know, like whenever you're doing your workouts, it'll tell you whether you're doing well, whether you're too slow. So this was just mine, you know, like my last run, actually it was yesterday. So you can see that the pace, a lot of information are actually provided and being tracked that you can find in the app itself. Now, I did mention about the body composition earlier on, and you can see over here, there's more information down here that you can find in the app. Your muscle, water, bone mass, all sorts of information that you might need can actually be found in the app itself, which is again very helpful. Alright, so moving back to the watch itself, guys. Alright, so in terms of the battery life, Amazfit says you can get up to 14 days, and that's if you really skimp on the features. I would say that based on my usage, I'm actually able to get about a week of battery life, and that's without the always on display turned on. I do not on the always on display simply because it gives me an even better battery life. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps up our quick look at the brand new Amazfit Balance. Again, this is a sort of new approach or new direction with Amazfit, where they are going with their smartwatches. No more GTR, GTS and all that. Maybe in future they will still release them, but the new series, the Balance, is really all about focusing on your mind and your body and how you can perform at your best. So with that said, if you have any further questions, I'll put a link down below to their official website so you can find out more information about that. Thank you for watching all the way to the end as always. Don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Do take care and stay safe. Bye bye.